Hello, everybody. Welcome to the video. This is Jill's YouTube channel, and I'm taking over for just a second to say we're so excited to have you at CutterPillar today.
Yeah, I'm delighted to be here.
We're very excited. Jill is here to talk about how she uses our products, and we're very excited for that because I get to learn something today too. My name is Melody. I am from CutterPillar. I work here at the office. I've been with CutterPillar for 7 years. I get to travel around the country and talk about our stuff, and so we're really excited. We don't have guests in the studio very often. Jill is one of our favorites, so she came in to hang out with us today. We're so excited.
I'm delighted to be here. It's so fun. So
yeah, we're excited. So welcome everybody who's joining us here out there in Jill Lily Studio fandom. We appreciate that you're here to watch us. So we're going to talk about some of our products here, and like I said, Jill is going to talk about what she loves about them.
right.
Which of course is everything, but
Yeah.
she's going to talk about how she uses them too. So we're very
Yeah,
excited.
So I'm so glad to welcome you to my YouTube channel. We have a lot of really good information here, but these are some products that will really help you in your quilting journey. So I use them for a lot of different things, for cutting, for applique, for foundation piecing. And when I go to teach, the products are just really delightful because they're compact. I can travel with them. It really makes a nice quilting journey. So I'm going to let Melody start by showing you, this is one of my favorite products. This is their folding cutting mat. And it's so awesome because it becomes compact. And then you don't have to worry so much about it getting warped in your car or in the heat or the cold, because it stays stable because it's all folded up.
Yes.
And she's going to tell you how that works.
I'm going to tell you how this works. It's so great. It's one of our newest products. So if you haven't seen this before, that's why. And correct me if I'm right, Jill, you can get everything at Jill's website at jilllilystudio.com. You can get all the stuff there. And she has a special going on, which we'll tell you about. So make sure you do that.
From now until Christmas of 2024, because I know this video will be there for a long time.
Right.
But through 2024 Christmas, you can get 25% off any of these products on my website.
Crazy. It's amazing. It's so great. So, okay. So the thing that's so great about our flip and fold, Jill mentioned it a little bit, that it doesn't warp. It's made out of a new material called TPE. So it's a little bit of a different material than typical cutting mats are made out of. We actually did a test in the heat in a car here in Utah where we're located to see if it would warp or not compared to other cutting mats. I think I have them right here.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. I'm just going to show you really quick.
I just have found that to be true, so I didn't really know that.
Yeah, so Jill just found out because she loves it.
To say, even though it's a different product or different material, it is a self-healing mat.
Yes, yes. Yeah. So we put this in the hot car for 10 days or so.
Not good.
We put this in the hot car for 10 days or so. And that's how they'll come out if you leave them.
We've all had this experience, right?
But we also put this in the hot car.
Oh, wow.
And look at this.
I did not know that. I love this.
Isn't that so great? So if you accidentally leave it in because your arms are full of other things and you don't get it back inside, it's okay. It'll be fine. So I just wanted to point that out.
10
because
days.
That's 10 days in the car.
Wow.
In Utah. Like we have desert heat here in the summertime. So it was during the summertime. So it's so great. So that's the fantastic about the material. And now why would your cutting mat be in your car is really the question, right? Because why would we need to trust that? Because you can travel with this mat.
Yeah, and you're going to, a retreat, or you're going to a class
that Jill teaches. You're going to go to one of the retreats that Jill does and take her classes because they're phenomenal. So this cutting mat starts out at 11 by 17. So you can cut on this size right here. If you need more space, you just open it up. So when you open it up, now it is 17 by 22. And you can cut on this size here.
And what's nice is it's numbered from, I don't know if you can see that, from 1 to 17 and from 1 to 22.
Right, just like the first.
Here,
yep.
It's numbered, like it's not like the numbers fall off the page here.
Yes.
It's from 1 to 12, 11, or 1 to 17 this way.
It starts over every time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then if you need a little more space than that, you can flip it over because it's called flip and fold. So you flip it over and you open it again. And now you have 17 by 48.
Now you see it's got these little notches like a puzzle. Just make sure those are flat.
Yes, make sure those are snapped because you'll hear it snap. So make sure they're snapped together and then you have a fully flat surface.
I love this size for when you're at a retreat or at a class. The tables that they give you usually are those 24-inch
24 inches, right?
This is perfect for giving you a big cutting surface on a narrow table. I just love this size.
I love this size too. I was resizing a little rug. It wasn't really rug, like the thin little weave rugs. It wasn't a plush rug for my little entryway because my house was built in the 40s. And so it's a super weird size. I can't get a rug to cover the whole area. I just had this on my living room floor and right next to the foyer area, and I was able to cut that rug down to size right on here because it was long enough for it, and I could do it on the floor because of how nice and flat it ends up being.
Wow, that's
so
great.
This is really fantastic. So you can do that with it. Then if you need a little more space, you can flip it open again. So it comes up to be 36 by 48. So it's a full 36 by 48. They designed it so that you've got a full 48 inches. So the mat itself is a little bit bigger than that, right? The mat is actually 49 by 37.
Yeah.
But the grid is 48 by 36.
By 36.
Yeah.
So this is the great size for laying out your projects if you're trying to, cut things that are going into big pieces or to do bias cutting.
Yeah.
So it's
your angles
really
are
a
on
great
here.
size. If you have a large cutting surface in your sewing area, like this table here, this is the perfect size because then your mat covers the whole surface and you can use it. And it's not a problem to be able to use it for all kinds of things.
Yeah. And at my house, my table in my craft room is not this big. So when I need to cut big things, I'll take this out and put it on the dining room table, but then I have to put it away.
Yeah.
Because I can't leave it out on the dining room table. Like
So
I could
it's
leave it in a
easy to
craft
do.
room. So you can fold this right back up and you can put it away and you can store it on your shelf like that. So you don't
Right.
have to.
So you don't have to have a special place.
Yeah.
Because one of those large mats is hard to store because we try to slide it in between something, or at least I do.
Yes.
And then you end up with a curve in it or
Right.
up on. But this comes with a little elastic thing.
Yes,
band
to
that
hold it
goes around
together. Yep.
And then it goes in my bag with my other light boards and things. And
Yes.
it's great.
Yeah, because it will fit in the CutterPillar tote bag. So this is
great.
technically our tote bag for our Glow Basic or our Glow Premium.
So the medium size.
The medium size bag we have, but it will fit right in here. So you can take it to your classes. You can take it to your retreats. Can you imagine like at your class, you can have all those different sizes of cutting mats depending on what you might need. And it all compactly fits in here.
You only have a little space. And so it's nice to be able to fold it up to 11 by 17 and have it right there.
Yeah.
And not worry about it being in your car, warping or anything like that. It's just really a great product. Now, wherever those seams are, where the folds are, they've designed it. Let me just point this out because I've had people ask me, well, wait a minute, is my blade going to get caught in those seams? So let's open it up to the first.
Here we
let's
go.
See, we got to
we got to turn it this way. Yeah.
This way.
We got to have it facing us so we know how to do it.
Or it's a mystery.
Yeah.
And this one isn't. Oh, this has to lift over.
Yeah, we just we're snapping the puzzle pieces together right there. Yep.
So there is a seam here where, there's a fold.
There's a fold here.
But it's designed so that it's not on any line.
Right.
And so you won't have any trouble with that. I've cut for a long time on mine and not noticed any problems at all. So when we open to the next size,
so we got to flip it over,
flip it, and then
open it.
Open like an accordion kind of. So you can see here is a seam right here. Let me just pull this up so you can see. See, there's a seam right there with this little puzzle piece. And it's not anywhere where you're going to cut. It's right off of the,
right.
I mean, I don't know. It's not.
It's about an eighth of an inch away from that line.
From a line.
So you're not going to worry about cutting straight down there.
Right.
So they did a really good job with that.
Across one of these seams this way,
it's fine.
It's not a problem at all.
Not a problem.
It's perfect. So
yes,
I've had people ask about that. So fold it back up.
Fold it back up. Flip and fold.
And then there you go.
There we go. Perfect. So Jill wanted to make sure that we show this because this is one of her favorites of CutterPillar products that you can find at Jill's website, Jill Lily Studio.
Nobody else has anything like it. It's awesome.
It's pretty great. Awesome. We're very excited about it. So like I said, it's one of our newest things. We've had a great response. We're very excited about it. And it's a wonderful, wonderful mat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'll last you a long time.
Yep.
So
check that out at Jill's
cut on both
website.
sides of this product.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Because when you flip it open, it's the other side.
Right.
Like it's all the different sides.
So even, if you use it for 10 years and you've got some lines, how we generally do get some after a while.
Yeah.
Just do
flip
the other side of it.
Flip it around.
It works just great.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Let's see. Now we want to show you. Oh, we're going to start with the little.
Oh, that's right. You're right. I'm sorry. I forgot.
That's okay.
My bad.
That's okay.
We are going to start small.
We have a plan.
We had a plan that I forgot all about.
So this is CutterPillar's Mini. Is that what you call it?
Yes, this is our Glow. We call it our Glow Elite Mini. It's made a little bit differently from our other ones, but yeah. And I can tell you about that.
It's got a light in it, obviously, and it has four.
This one has four
brightnesses.
Yes.
And I know you can see that on camera, so I'm going to turn it off. Goodbye. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
And then each of their mats comes with, I guess you can see that.
Yep.
the clear cutting mat that goes on the top of it. And it's really hard to, I'm going to turn this off so that you can see all the lines on it, because on the camera you couldn't see with all
it's
of the
really
lines.
bright.
Yeah, it's bright. But you can see it's got all the lines on it that you need, if you might need for measuring things or checking the size of your block. That's what I use it for. But it's also great for setting up your applique. And I've got a little project right here I'm going to show you. So
this is where I get to learn how to do stuff. I'm very excited for this.
So to start with, I've got this little block that I've been working on. And I have a pattern, and it's a pattern that is a free pattern actually on my website. It's called, do I remember what it's called? I can't remember what it's called.
Just look for those adorable flowers.
I think it's something with a daisy, but I cannot remember what it is.
We don't need the cutting mat for this part, right?
Oh, you're right. We don't need the cutting mat.
That's the thing that's great about the light boards is you don't, if you're doing your applique projects, you don't necessarily, this is only if you're cutting.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
only
right.
if you're cutting do you put the
Okay,
mat
so
back
I've
on.
got my placement diagram that I've set, and I'm going
Let's
to turn
dim
this
it down a little bit. Yeah, let's get it down lower because you can see.
So that you can see the placement diagram. And then I've got a couple blocks that I've done, and this one I've done, but it's not finished. And this is, I wanted to show you this because it is critical. I don't know if you can see. Maybe you can't. Maybe turn this off for just a second. The pattern,
right?
The design goes right to the corner of this block. This dotted line is the stitching line, and so if you place those pieces too close to the edge, they'll be caught in your stitching. So it's very important that we have a good way to make sure that we're off of that stitching line.
Right. So you can see, it's a little bit hard in the camera. You can see exactly where the little stitches are, where the lines are on the pattern.
So I've just got a couple pieces left on this design to whoops. Of course, a lot of glue came out because I'm on camera.
That's how it always works, isn't it?
I know it.
And it's Friday the 13th today. So it is. That might be part of it.
I'm sure that's So then I'm just going to attach my pieces with, actually, this is my Applique glue, and normally I just use a tiny drop of glue, just like the size of a pinhead, about every ½ inch or so. And this one we'll put right here.
And it's so great because it's on its lowest light setting right now. So you can adjust it because sometimes you need a brighter light setting. Sometimes you need a lower light setting. It just depends on what you're working on. It depends on what time of day it is. Like if you're crafting in the middle of the night, you don't want to have it all the way bright, or in your studio. It just, this keeps you from having, like, tell me if you used to do this, Jill, before we had these light boards. We would tape them to the windows to try to trace patterns and to do these kinds of things. And it was so hard.
So true. Oh, and you know what? This has magnets that will hold thing in place. I forgot to say that.
This does.
But everything has, this is the small, this is the mini. So this little light board is so small that it's easy to travel with, easy to take to your project. And see that these magnets are great. They're going to hold my
it'll hold your paper
diagram
down.
in place. And you can also use it on your fabric, to hold your fabric in place. So that it doesn't shift around while you're placing your pieces. So now my pieces are all placed. And then, because I've glued them down, now I can just stitch. So like I said, this one is only glued down. This one is already stitched. And now this one's ready. It's glued down. So I like to have an applique project all glued down and ready
to go.
Several of them just hanging out.
And then when you're ready to, that's great.
I can travel with, or if I've got a doctor's appointment or something like that where you're going to end up waiting.
That's amazing.
It's nice to have some little handwork to do.
Yeah.
So I'm going to wipe the glue off of my hands.
So the Glow Mini, this is the Glow Mini. This is our only light board that has those metallic metal plates like Jill was talking about. They are built into the back of the board. So you have these little metallic plates on each of the corners
that the magnets
will stick through. And the magnets are super, super strong. They're a separate piece, but they are super, super strong. They'll go through the board. They'll go through your cutting mat. They'll go through your...
Let's show that.
Yeah, they'll go through
if we have all the cutting mat on for some reason and we wanted to use them, the magnets are still going to hold. Let's just pick that up.
They'll still hold.
Still holding it in place.
Because that's the other thing that happens a lot when you're doing your tracing or you're doing your applique projects and you're in the middle of something and someone comes to the door or the phone rings or someone comes home and you have to leave it, then you're resetting it all the time.
For me, it's a grandchild.
Or the grandchild comes in. Yeah. For me, my grandchild will leave me alone when he's at my house. He's just like, I'll leave you alone if you leave me alone. He's not interested in what I'm doing.
Oh boy,
luckily.
Mine are very interested in what I'm doing, which is great. So anyway, that is the mini, and it comes with, of course, the adapter that you can plug it in and gives you that beautiful bright light anywhere you need it.
Yes.
And for cutting.
Yep. You just put the mat on. The thing about the cutting mat as well is the side that lands on the board is textured on the back. So it doesn't slip around when you're using it, right? So if you are using any other cutting mat on acrylic, it's pretty slippery. But because we have a texture on the back, when you set it down, when you're cutting, if you're using your ruler and your rotary cutter, it's not going to move around. It'll stay right in place so that you can cut your pieces out right on top of there.
Let's pretend I had a ruler.
Let's pretend you had it. Look how straight you cut even without a ruler. It's kind of impressive, Jill. Look at that.
Actually,
look at that. That's so straight.
Hey, I'm good.
You're so good. Look at that.
You could hire me to do this.
I think that's a great idea. Look at that. No ruler. Super straight. Amazing.
Didn't even show on camera because the fabric's
white.
Too light.
But look how perfectly straight that is. Look at that. It's the same size on both ends. Look at you. That's so crazy.
I am a non-ruler cutter.
That's so. I don't
dare.
I don't dare do that. Yeah.
I've posted a few videos where people have said, I would never do that without
I would never do that.
But sometimes I have the ruler, and I know you've done this too. You have the ruler down and you're cutting and off you go.
Yes.
Even though the ruler's there, you're like, what?
You guys, you can't see this, but it is exactly the same width. It is exactly the same width on both sides. It is exactly the same.
I have a good eye.
You have a really good eye and a steady hand. That is so crazy. Look at that. They're perfectly straight. Anyway, we digress. But that is so amazing. Yes.
Okay, so that's the cutting, which is so fun to do with the light behind it. It's great.
Because our eyes are getting tired.
They are.
And
I just find that I need more and more light.
More and more light everywhere.
As old as I am, but more and more light.
You'd be surprised. The thing about it for me that I found was when my eyes started going bad. I should be wearing glasses and reading glasses, but I avoid it if I can because the light makes it so I can avoid the reading glasses.
Yeah.
But I was causing shadows on my projects. My craft room has great lighting, but I was in the way, right? See, I was in the way of the. And I was causing
that's true. No matter what light you have overhead, this is a good point.
Yes, but your hands are in the way. It'll create a shadow.
Area. But if you have it lit from behind,
that goes away.
You don't have that shadow.
Yeah.
Isn't that awesome?
It's so awesome.
That's a good point.
That's amazing.
I never thought about that.
And that comes into effect even more so with the next light board that we're going to show you. Because this is your mini. Because this it doesn't take up a lot of space.
And the mini has a new. Let's show the tote bag because I love this. I love this tote bag. So I'm going to unplug this.
Yes.
Okay. We'll just leave that right there.
Yep, leave that right there. This is our brand new mini tote bag.
I've got to get one of these. I don't have it yet because
we'll get
it's
you
brand
one.
new.
We'll get you one.
But isn't this awesome? It opens like a book. And you can put your cute little, this thing is so light. I mean, it's like a Frisbee.
It is like a Frisbee.
It's really light. And you stick it in here and that will protect it.
Yep.
And then you can put all of your project over here.
You can put, and you've got one zipper pocket that's
opaque.
Oh, thank you for that word. Opaque. You can put your stuff in here, and then you've got one that is not. So like if you have scissors or things like that, it's not going to tear through, but you can see what's in there. I tend to, if I put things away all the time and I don't see all of this stuff, I forget I have it. So
I'm like, where did I do with that? It's in several different
bags. It's in all the bags, right? And then you can put the project you're working on right in there.
The pattern or whatever.
Yep.
And then it folds up like a little briefcase, like you're off to work.
Yep. And it's got double zippers.
Double zip.
You've got a pocket in the front.
Nice.
You can put more stuff right in there. Yep. Briefcase handle, shoulder strap, metal hardware.
I love this. I love this so much. This is great.
We're going to send one home with Jill today because she needs one. Yes.
I'm excited. Okay, so this also is on sale.
Yes.
From now till Christmas 2024.
2024, just in case you're watching us in 2027.
Yeah. 25. Well, I always have 15% off of all the CutterPillar products on my website.
Yes.
All the time.
Right.
But I've added an additional 10%. So a total of 25% off.
Just till Christmas.
Just till Christmas.
Just till Christmas. And today's the Friday the 13th. So you've got a couple weeks. So you got to hurry. Just till Christmas. That's all. Yep. So great.
Okay. Awesome. All right. The next thing that we want to show you is the medium size. So they have 3 sizes of these wonderful glow. They're not glow mats. What do you call them?
Light boards. We call them light boards.
Light boards. Okay. I'm brilliant.
I'm trying to remember where I put. This one isn't, I think it's this one. Yes.
Okay.
There was one that wasn't ready to go and one that was. So this is our medium size.
This is awesome.
This might be actually your favorite, right?
This is my favorite.
Okay.
Because it has no cord.
Yes.
Because it holds a charge and it will hold a charge all day long.
It does. We like to say that if you're doing it on high, it'll last about 3 to 4 hours. But if it's, but it really lasts longer than that.
Yeah,
it
I've
really
taken
does.
it to workshops and had it on all day long.
Yeah.
And it's worked just great.
It works amazing.
Yeah, it has a wonderful battery in here, and it's still very lightweight,
Yes.
very thin. Look how thin that is. Oh, and I can see on camera. We've added, can you want to tell them about these little?
Yeah. So as I mentioned about the Mini, that's the only light board we have that has metallic plates built into it. But we don't want to leave anybody out that might want to use magnets. So you can get separate magnetic plates that you can stick to the back.
Just stick them on. They come with the
They're
little
self-adhesive.
sticky. Yeah.
You can stick them
You
right
stick
on.
them on wherever you think you might need them.
Yes.
And, those are the logical places to hold.
Right. The middle and the corners.
Right. To hold your placement diagram or whatever you're working on that you want to trace.
Yes.
It holds it in place.
Yes.
So the magnets are handy for that. And these are rare earth magnets, aren't they?
They are. They're called, I always say this wrong. The guys always make fun of me because I can't say it right. They're like neodymium or something like that.
Oh.
They're about the strongest commercial magnet you can
Right.
find. After this, you're like getting those big magnets that like pick up garbage and stuff, right?
Well, that
With a crane
cars.
and pick up cars.
Yeah.
Yes. So they're super, super strong.
Yeah.
And the way that they're designed, Jack did a great job designing these because they are in this thing and because they're designed the way they are, all of the magnetization goes straight down, right? So it doesn't spread out. So it's all focused exactly. That's why you can hold down so many layers when you're working on stuff.
So the magnetism is pointing down directly to where you're trying to attach
Yes.
it. So that's great. So if you already have some of the CutterPillar light boards and they don't have if you order the magnets, make sure you order the magnet plates to stick on the back of your boards if you have a previous board.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
That's just an add-on.
And
Not
this one,
necessary,
this
but
one
it's
does come with the cutting mat as well.
Okay.
They all do. So you'll get a cutting mat with this,
a
clear cutting mat and the power cord and all that
and
stuff.
is that a self-healing mat?
It is. It's the same. It's the same one as the Mini comes with. It's just, it fits this.
Okay, great.
Yes.
So this is awesome. This one also has a sleeve that you can put it in, right?
So this will fit in that same tote bag that we talked about a few minutes ago that our flip and fold will fit in.
Okay.
So it will fit in
It
this
has its own
one.
size.
Yes.
Of a tote bag. So if this is the largest one you're getting, then I would get this so that you can transport. And you can put the Mini in here as well.
And the flip and fold.
And the flip and fold.
Because you're going to get all of it from Jill. So you can do all of that stuff. And it's got a big pocket here so you can put more stuff in it. And we made it green because you know how like you lose your stuff in the bottom of your purse when it's dark. You can't find your stuff. Yes. A full pocket here for projects and stuff. A pocket for your power cords. And you can put your magnets and things in there. And then it has a little extra tab. So if you are traveling with it, you can slide this on a rolly cart or your suitcase.
Yes, that's great.
And then the briefcase handles and the shoulder strap. So you can take that along with you.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay.
All right.
Let's move on.
Okay.
We're going to go to the next size. So we've shown you the Mini.
The Mini.
And
this is the premium.
Premium.
Yes. With the battery.
I just call it the middle size.
The middle size.
The premium.
Middle premium with the battery.
Okay. And then the next one is this large one. And this is fabulous.
So I'm going to say again that this is Jill's favorite. All of them are your favorite, right?
I love them all for different reasons. I love the Mini because it's so portable to take with if I'm on the go and I'm traveling while I'm placing things. Then the Mini is handy.
Yes.
But I can even use it in the car. I can plug it into my jack.
Because it has a USB port, so you can plug it in that way. Yeah,
just great. So that's not while you're driving. But
no, we don't recommend that.
If someone else is driving, I can use the Mini on my lap. That's great.
About the Mini, I've taken it on an airplane and done stuff. I plug it into the little TV on the airplane and I put it right on my little tray.
Yeah.
And I can work on stuff there too.
Definitely
anywhere.
Works anywhere.
RVs, all kinds of stuff.
And then the premium that we just showed you, the medium size one, the middle size.
The middle
is my favorite because it has a battery and it doesn't need a cord. So I can charge it up if I'm going somewhere like to the cabin or somewhere where maybe I don't have power. Going camping. Then great. Or if you don't want to use one of your outlets because you need it for your iron or your sewing machine when you're at a retreat, then that's handy.
Yes. Or if it's the Super Bowl and you don't care about the game, but your husband wants you to sit next to him while the game's on, you can use the premium and work on your stuff because it doesn't have to be plugged in.
Right. Right. If he picks the movie.
Right. If he picked the movie, then you can craft. That's
exactly.
Perfect. If he picked the movie,
then
you use the premium.
I'll come out of my sewing room and he's like, who are you?
Like, why are you
You've
here?
been in there for so long. I don't remember you. So anyway, it's nice to be able to come out and join the family.
Yes.
But this one is very, very practical for those large projects. And this one also has,
It's over
you
here.
got your light.
Yep, the light's over
She's
here.
going to turn it on.
So this one also, like the mini, has 4 levels of light.
4 levels of light.
So
And
it
the
gets so
medium
bright.
size has 3 levels.
Yes.
Right? Okay. So this is super bright right now. And I'm going to show you a little project. We're going to get one ready here.
Do we need the cutting mat for your project?
Nope.
Nope.
Take the
Okay,
cutting
we're gonna
mat.
take cutting mat off.
We'll get back to
We'll
the
get
cutting
back to
mat
that.
on something else.
Yep.
But right now we're going to do some applique. So we don't need the cutting mat. We just want the light board. And I've got my placement diagram here, and I've got my block here. I always cut my block larger than my finished. Of course, you're going to need a 1/4 inch seam allowance beyond the line of the block. But I also give myself a little extra because I'm going to be traveling with this or working on it, and you end up with frayed edges that you want to trim
as you
off.
move it around a lot.
Plus, taking the applique stitches kind of shrinks your block a little bit.
Right, because it tightens it up, right?
Yeah, I always cut it a little bit bigger. So actually, let's get that cutting mat back out because this is very wrinkled. So we're going to, if I can find it, I'm going to press.
Oh, so then I do have the glass mat.
She's got a glass mat. The glass mat doesn't come with it, but you can purchase the glass mat separately, and it's wonderful because you can press on it. So I wasn't planning to press right now, but this is really wrinkled, so I just going to get some of these.
So the tempered glass mat is a treated glass. It's similar to like a glass stovetop or like your refrigerator shelves that are glass, right? So it's super, super durable. It's not going to break. It also will take the heat of an iron because it's now our joke around here is like, don't try to iron your prom dress. Don't leave it sitting on there. But when you're ironing like that, or you're ironing your applique fusibles down, you can do that right on top of the light. And so you can use the grid to help line things up if you need to.
This is super duper, and I didn't bring a sample for this, but super for squaring up your block. After you've done your block, let's say you had a specific size, then you could line it up and make sure. Then when I press my block as I'm squaring it up, I press to make sure, if I have to give it a little tug here.
A little tug because it tightened up, right?
Yes, to make it the right size. I've always wanted a pressing surface that was gridded.
Oh,
and that we've had those printed ones that they're not accurate because the fabric, it has some give and it changes. But this mat is absolutely accurate. So it's very good for squaring up a block.
Yes.
So anyway, I'm going to set this aside.
We'll set this aside.
Just put it right up there. And we'll get,
sorry. No, you're good.
And you don't want to leave your iron sitting on it with it down because you don't want to damage the surface of your light board.
Yes.
But it works for just a quick press here and there.
Yes.
So now I'm back to placement. I've got my block diagram, my placement diagram, extra threads, of course.
Always, everywhere.
And then I've got my background for my block, and I have some prepared pieces, and I'm just going to start by laying these out. And you can see it makes it really easy for me to see where everything goes. And this block has a lot of moving pieces. So there's a lot of detail, and it's going to be important that I'm in the right position or I'm going to be on top of each other.
Right.
Which would be fine if that was the design, but it isn't.
But it's not.
So there you go. And those will be glued down. These guys will live right here, these cute little leaves.
So what you'll do is you'll glue this down onto the fabric first, right? When you're placing it, you'll glue it down. Gotcha.
Yep.
That's amazing.
So I'm not going to take the time to glue it all down now, but I do have my stems.
Nice.
That would go on top of here. I would probably place them before this.
Okay.
And then cut that off so that it's not under my shape. And then I've got some teeny tiny 1/8 inch stems that I didn't bring with me that will be for these other elements. So there's a lot going on here. So I like to prepare all my pieces first. So I've got some of them here. I've got these little guys live here. And I can't see through this because this is a dark fabric.
Right.
So I'm going to turn up my volume.
Look at that.
Of my light so that I can see where this goes. Now you might not be able to see that on camera, but I can certainly see it right here. So that's going to live right there. That one right there. And then this will be in the center. And so you can turn that back down once you've got all of those placed, because things layered on top of each other are going to need a little bit more light coming through.
That's amazing. And I love
Isn't
that
that
you
awesome?
you glue it down first.
I glue it down,
then you can go back and-
then my block
and
is
stitch it
portable.
in, right?
Oh, and in fact, I do have a sample here. Here's this is a block from the same quilt, but a different design. But this one is already stitched. So let's turn the light off. Come on, there we go. This one's already stitched. I've got a few pieces that aren't done yet, but you can see that now my block has been portable. See, I've stitched all of this. Looks like I haven't stitched this edge here. So I still have a little bit to do on this one. But
And are you stitching these with your machine, or are you stitching these by hand?
No, I stitch by hand.
Oh, my mother always did that too.
I like to stitch by hand. I teach both methods.
Yeah.
I prepare the same way,
Okay.
so that I have no raw edges.
Okay.
But then you can either stitch by machine or
by hand. Gotcha.
But you want to glue it all down with
Jill's glue.
my Applique glue, so that it stays in place as you're stitching.
Gotcha.
It won't shift around no matter how long. Like I think I prepped this up in July.
Oh wow!
still
And you've
not
been
done.
carrying it around,
I've been
stitching it
carrying
everywhere you
around
go.
to every place I go, and
And your glue, I know we're here talking about CutterPillar products, but your glue is so fantastic. I'm sure everybody knows about it, but it will wash out after you're done, right?
it's water soluble.
Yeah.
But you know, who knows if it's sandwiched in between your pieces of fabric like that, they can't agitate.
Right.
So there's probably glue left in there.
But it doesn't hurt your
But
fabric
it
or
doesn't
anything.
hurt your fabric because it's archival. So I developed it to be an archival product.
That's
It's
amazing.
acid-free, pH neutral, safe to leave in there. So
love that.
Let's set this aside.
Okay.
I've got one more fun one I want to show you.
I'll put these over here.
This one I wanted to show you because when I design a project, I design on my computer and then I put the fabrics in it so that I can see how it looks. So this is a block I designed, and it's got, you know, I've colored it with my fabric. And so that is harder to see through because it's got then a plain outline,
right?
Outline diagram.
Gotcha. Oh,
Okay.
then the patterns. Yeah, I see what
So
you mean.
because of that,
Look how that lights up. Look at how that brightens up when you've got that light
here's
from
the
behind
block that I created from this. And so I put the fabric on here, and even though it's a colored diagram, I can see all the way through it with this hard.
Because you can tell, right? You can see if you're off because that will shine through, so you can tell if you're in the right spot or not. Yeah, that's amazing.
So, but I glued down everything at once. I don't add a little here and there. So I glued down, and I would use the magnets on this because this is large, and I would use it to hold the, I don't know where they went, but to hold the fabric as well, so that it doesn't shift around because there's a lot going on this piece.
So this particular ultra board does not have magnetic plates stuck to the back yet. But that's what you would need to do is stick those magnetic plates to the back, and then you can put your magnet right here.
It's going to hold that
the
in
paper,
place,
the fabric, everything.
the paper and the fabric as you're going, and then you're going to glue each piece down as you go, place it, and you know that it's going to come out to look like a bike and not like a wheel here and a wheel there. Because I mean, when you're doing a lot of elements like this, it's very important that they're in the right place.
Right, because if you're off by a little bit, then your bike won't. It doesn't come together at the end if your spacing's off, right?
And it might not be within the block boundaries because you have to fit. I have to fit this into a quilt.
Right.
So when I'm done stitching it, which I'm not quite done because my needle is right here.
So she's still going around. She's still working on that.
I'm still working on this one.
That's so great.
So yeah, there's more blocks that go around it that will also have applique. So I've got quite a bit of work to do, but that shows you how even with a dark background, I can see through with this bright light. We'll go back to the light, the with it off, and you can see what we've got. And then with a little bit of light, you can see through it. But with the brightest, it's fabulous. It's
look how well you can see that. That's so great.
Enables you to place your pieces
beautiful,
easily.
amazing.
Okay, and then this has a
cutting mat.
It comes with the cutting mat, doesn't it?
It
when
does
you
come
purchase
with,
the light board, you get the cutting mat, which is wonderful because you can use that in your studio as you're doing your cutting, and really makes it easy for you to work on it. And you do have to lift this up to turn the button off and on.
Yes.
But that is nice because the button's not in your way.
Right.
So that you
don't bump it off all the time when you're working.
It off by accident.
Yep.
My sister has one of your products that was an earlier product, and she was always bumping it off.
I was too.
She put a one of those foam corn things for your foot.
Oh,
sticks right on. Right over.
Oh, that's funny.
So that it
doesn't bump off. Well, tell her that's great. That's very ingenious to do that.
It's a good tip. Huh?
But I just, because I had the same problem because Glow Basic and our Glow Premium, the premium size that we showed before, comes with a cutting mat that's a little bit smaller, so it
It's
doesn't
small.
cover
It
the whole
doesn't
board like
cover-
this
it
one does.
doesn't cover the light.
The light. So when you're working on it, just like turn it around so it's over there
Oh, there you
instead
go.
of over here to bump it.
Smart.
So that's what it took me a while to figure that out, but then I finally figured that out.
Okay,
So
and
yeah,
isn't this great? It's got the your bicep, so it's got 45 degrees. Let's turn this down. Is
turn
it,
it down.
is
Yep,
it on the
it's
lowest?
on the no, it's
There
on
you
the
go,
highest.
so that you can see the 45 degrees, the 60, 75,
Yep, and 15,
15,
and 30.
and
Yep,
30.
all of them.
Nice.
Yep.
Really nice.
Yeah.
And it's really accurate. It's got really thin lines. So this is an accurate cutting mat, which I love, which is perfect for squaring up your blocks after.
It is well, and the other thing that's so great about this, I'm going to pull your other one back out just for a second because the board itself is 19 by 26 in size. So if you are squaring things up, you can put look how big of a piece you can put on here. You can put a fat quarter out on this, and it will fit on it. So you can do bigger pieces,
Right.
Than some of our other boards because you have that extra space and
Right.
because it goes over the edge, so you can continue
Yeah,
to cut.
I haven't trimmed this yet because
Yeah.
I'm not done stitching, and so it's kind of.
Well, you've been carrying it around everywhere.
I have been.
Yeah,
Since July.
since July.
It should have been done by now, but it's not.
It'll get there.
Yeah.
Everything gets done
It
eventually.
has to because there's a deadline.
Oh.
So when there's a deadline, deadlines are good. They keep me
They
going.
keep you going, right?
Yes. Okay, so
So
I
this
also wanted
she's
to-
going to show that I am so very.
Oh, here's one more.
Oh
big
wait,
one.
there's one more before we do that one.
One more big one.
Yes.
I thought I'd show you because this is a large placement diagram, and so this just points out. Here we go. This is for. In fact, let me just put it up on the front of the table. This is. I wonder if you can see that.
Flip the camera, Jack.
Flip the camera for
There
us.
we go.
Okay.
Thank you.
This is a little table runner called Tangled Daisies, and I'm going to put it up here.
So cute.
And this is the placement diagram for it. It's really long. So this also has a piece background. Let me pull that back here. So the background is piece. There's a piece and a print and a plane. So because that's piece, those lines are included in the placement diagram. And we can take the cutting mat off
Okay.
so that those lines don't get mixed up with
Yeah,
these
because
lines.
that's why. Yeah, when you're doing this kind of stuff, you don't need the mat because there's a lot of lines when you do that.
And I'm not sure which direction I was going on this, but we'll go this way. Okay, so now you can see that through this, I can see where these placement lines go with my seam line. And I can line that up perfectly so that I am ready to place the vines, the stems, and all of these cute little flowers. And then I'll just shift it along.
Yeah, shift it down,
Yeah.
and then you can start your gluing process, right?
Uh-huh. Yep,
That's
exactly.
awesome.
So anyway, that is another example of a large scale applique project that could use a large board.
But
So-
you can also do smaller things on here. It doesn't have to only be larger things.
Right.
Jill's
right.
going to show us the other
So
things she does on
now
here.
I am going to set this up for doing foundation piecing. So I use the large board with the cutting mat on it, and then we're going to add the glass mat on one side
There we go.
so that I have an ironing surface. So now I have an ironing surface and a cutting surface, which is what you need for my method of foundation piecing. Now, you can use any ironing surface you have at home and any cutting surface that works just great. But to have the light behind
All together, yes.
is so great. So I'll have this like off to the side and then my sewing machine here, and then I'll work right here. So, but I
We're
didn't
gonna scoot you
bring
back
a
to the
sewing
camera.
machine. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll scoot back here because I did not bring my sewing machine. I'm just going to kind of show you the method. We're going to start with,
They're right
first I'm
Oh,
going
yeah.
to show you just this little,
We're going to make Jill leave this here so I can learn how to do it.
yeah. So this is just an overview of the foundation piecing method.
If we lay it down, Jack thinks we can see it on the camera above us. So we're
Okay,
going to do
we're
this.
gonna have to
too.
turn it around.
Yeah, we're going to have to turn it around. There we go.
Okay, maybe turn the light off. There we go.
There we go.
All right,
Then
so
the studio lights.
this is foundation piecing without sewing through the paper so that you don't have to pull the paper up.
Oh, okay.
So great. So you take your foundation. This happens to be the foundation for this block. See, you do half of it at a time. So you take your foundation. The first step is to press. You press whatever fabric you need for section 1, and then you fold to add section 2, and then you trim, and then you add and stitch. And I'm going to show you those. It doesn't make sense here, I know, but I'm going to show you because as you do this, you stitch right next to the fold. See that stitching line?
She didn't stitch through the paper.
It's not through the paper, it's next to the fold.
Amazing. Okay.
And then you open that next piece up. And then you'll press. And meanwhile, this is all going to stick to your foundation. All the paper fabrics will stick.
Amazing.
So that they won't shift around and it'll be perfect. You'll have perfect seams coming together. And the best part is you can remove the whole foundation in one piece.
And you don't have to tear it out because it's not
That's
stitched.
right.
That's so
right.
great.
So let me move this applique stuff for just a second. It goes back here. And here's my foundation stuff.
Okay. I'm so excited about this because while I know that it exists and I know that you can do this,
Yeah.
I've never actually, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody when you see me out in the world. I've never actually made a foundation paper piece. I'm scared of it.
Are you really?
I've been so scared of
So
it.
it's okay. The old method was really crazy because we were guessing what size fabric to put there. And then we'd hold it up to the light to see if it covered and pretend like when we folded it open, oh, will that work? And you never knew. It was just a mystery.
Yeah.
So this quilt right here, over here on the side with Melody, has some foundation piece blocks. Those star blocks are foundation piece. Can you point out this little section that we're going to be working on? See this guy?
Is that this one?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, that's the little section we're going to work on.
Okay.
So this is the foundation, and it has 1, 2, 3 pieces.
You switch the camera, Jack. Perfect.
Okay, turn that light on. We'll just leave it on the
We'll leave it on low. Yeah.
So the first step is to press. So I'm going to take my the wrong side of my fabric. I'm sorry, wasn't thinking there.
That's
the
okay.
Wrong side of my fabric, and place it on the wrong side of the foundation, and then just press.
And you can do that on the glass mat,
Right on the glass mat.
right on the light, on the cutting
Yep,
mat,
and
on the
you
ultra.
can see, because we have the light behind, we can see if this totally covers that piece. That's wonderful.
Okay.
And then this is my new foundation ruler. This is called the Duet ruler. And it has, I don't know if you can see on camera. Let me turn it this way.
Flip the camera. The beveled edge. Oh, you can see it that way.
The
Okay.
beveled
Yep.
edge? See, it's really thin right here.
Yes.
And that's awesome. You can see that little thin edge.
Yep.
And then the rest of it is a traditional ruler where you can use
Oh,
this
that's so
side
cool.
for cutting.
Okay.
So this side is for cutting, and it's marked for
A
the
quarter inch?
And this side is for folding.
Oh.
So it says fold edge right there.
Yep.
Trim edge is that way.
Okay.
Okay, so the fold edge I'm going to place next to that line where my
Oh, so
sections
you
1
know
and
where
2.
you're folding it, so you're not guessing on that either.
Nope,
I love that.
fold, and
Okay.
then take now I'll take it and slip it over here to the get my rotary cutter and put it over on the cutting side of my light board and trim that off. So the next step is to trim.
Although you
So-
probably don't need to use the ruler for that part, right? Because
You don't have to,
Well, no,
but-
you don't have to. We all have to. You don't have to.
You don't have to. You want a nice 1/4 inch seam. It's
Right.
not going to show. It's underneath.
Right,
it's not
right.
going to
But you
show.
want it to be
But
even.
it's just nice to have
Yeah.
it even. So then I'm going to add the next piece. The piece number 2, it says right on my pattern, is the pink mini print. So that's this guy right here. And I'll place those fabrics right sides together and line up my seam allowances. Then I go to the sewing machine and I'll stitch right next to the fold, but not through the paper.
Not through the paper.
Not through the paper, just next to the fold.
Okay.
And I've got one here that I've already done. Oh, and after I've done stitching that, then I will come back to my pressing surface, open up the foundation and the fabric, and press again. So I've got one here that I've already done section 2 on. Okay, this one has section 2 has been added. Okay, so at this point, I open up the fabric and I open up my foundation and I press.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to do by pressing every time is getting my block, which I'm creating with this fabric, foundation.
Okay.
I forgot to tell you that the foundation is printed on maker paper,
Oh.
which is like freezer paper. It has a plastic coated side.
So that's what sticks
That's
it.
what sticks.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
that's absolutely critical.
Yeah.
You need to have.
Because then it stays in place
Yeah,
when you're
and I
stitching
didn't
next to it
bring
too,
any
right?
maker paper, but my audience is familiar with it.
Yeah.
It's an 8.5 by 11 sheet of basically freezer paper, but it's 3 times thicker, so it's really nice.
Oh, right.
You can
Then
print
it creases really well too then,
Yes.
right?
and you
Awesome.
can put it through your printer
Okay.
so you don't have to trace these foundations. You
Oh,
just
good.
print them.
Although if you want to trace them, you can
can.
on the light board.
Right.
But
That's
it's nice
true.
to not have to on
Okay,
that part.
now
Yeah.
on this one, we press, and then we open it up, and then we add the next piece, which happens to be black. So I've added right sides together.
You've
And
stitched
then
those
I
down.
stitched
Yeah.
right next to the fold. And now I'm ready to open this last piece up. I'll open my fabric. I'll open my foundation, my paper, and
You'll press that whole thing.
Mm-hmm. And that's going to stick to the block. Let's see if we've got the iron on. It's always good.
That's an important part. If you're trying to press something, to have that iron on. That's a very
Okay.
important part.
Now I'm going to go over to my cutting side and trim this block. So I'm just going to trim on the outside line. I'm using the trim edge of my ruler. Okay, so not the fold edge. You don't want to use the fold edge with your rotary cutter because you'll probably
slip, right?
Well, you'll cut your ruler because it's so thin.
Oh, because it's so thin on that side.
That you could cut right.
And you're cutting right on the line now, right?
Yes, I am, right
Okay.
on the outside line. Yay! And then the very last piece, this teeny tiny piece, which we could probably eyeball. Looks like I missed a little.
We cannot eyeball. You can eyeball.
Okay. Now,
Look at that.
my foundation my block is prepared on this foundation.
Look, it's this one. Look at that. It's right
It's
there.
that guy right there.
That guy right there.
Okay.
Amazing.
Now this is the best part of all. This point, you take your foundation and you can just peel it off.
That is so amazing. That is crazy. That is so great. See, and I will tell you what, Jill, I swear, part of the reason that I've been scared is because like I'm sewing through paper and there's all these different pieces you got to peel off and all that stuff. This is amazing.
You had to think upside down and backwards, but
Yes,
with this method,
you don't.
You're putting right sides together.
Yes.
You're sewing. It's just the
It
same.
makes more sense.
And now I have a foundation that I have removed and my block is prepared, but I can use this again.
You can use it again.
Uh-huh. So, I did bring a quilt that I could show you. Since we're on our own time here.
We are. You're all stuck with us, and we appreciate you being
grab
here with us.
that quilt that's right there?
Yeah.
And I'm going to show you this quilt because it uses 99 foundations. And if you were doing the old foundation piecing method, you would have,
That's a lot of tearaway.
well, you would have, not only that, you would have had to print 99 foundations.
Oh,
But because
at that.
we could reuse them,
look at that.
this is the block right here.
Oh, okay.
And here it is again. It's the very same block, but it just has the darks placed in an X on one block, and the next block has them placed in a T.
Gotcha.
An X versus a T, and that gives the illusion of these circles.
Oh my gosh,
Isn't
it's
that so
amazing.
fun?
Look how great that is.
So that's 99 blocks. There's 11 rows of 9 blocks across, and I only had to print like 25 of them because I could use each one of them 4 times instead of 99.
Instead of printing 99 different
Isn't
ones.
that great?
That's so great.
Yeah.
I love that. That's amazing. Beautiful, beautiful.
Okay. The name of this quilt is, what is it? Big Sky.
Big Sky.
Uh-huh.
Go find that on JillLilyStudio.com.
This one that I shared with you earlier, this table runner, I think I told you was Tangled Daisies. And then I forgot to tell you, this one that we were sampling, this is called Bramble. And Bramble, I've got kitted up in 2 colorways, the pink version or the black version. The black version has gray here and then black borders.
Oh,
and
cute.
it's stunning.
Amazing.
And then this quilt behind me, this is Courtyard. And Courtyard is an applique quilt, so it's got a beautiful applique center block. You can see that center block is the applique. And then there's a lot of applique around the outside borders too. So,
Amazing.
anyway.
So go find all the patterns on Jill's website
But
too.
that's how I do my foundation piecing method. And I'm going to be putting up a foundation piecing class on my website. It's not there yet, but it will be in next quarter, first
part of next year.
First part of next year, we'll have a foundation piecing class. I already have 2 other classes that you can just purchase on my website. They're not very expensive, less than $20. And they're an hour long, and you can watch them over and over and over. You purchase the class, and we send you a link to a YouTube video, and you can watch it as many times as you want. And one is on prepping your pieces for applique. So creating the shapes before you glue them down, how to prep and get ready for applique. It includes vines and all kinds of different shapes, inside points, and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, that's great.
And then the second one is all about stitching. And it teaches hand stitching and how I create the beautiful lift on my applique to get it to kind of puff up off the background. And then also it includes a bunch of information about needles and thread and what are my favorites and what's the best to use. and also includes machine stitching.
Oh,
So
awesome.
you can do the
Either way.
same method of prep and then do machine stitching. So
Beautiful.
that's in the stitching class.
That's great. And that's
So
all on your website
it's all
at
on my website.
jilllilystudio.com.
Yep.
That's so awesome.
Yep. But I could not live without these gorgeous
Light boards.
lighted products that
They're-
just
yeah.
really help.
They're so great. And there's all kinds of, we have all kinds of stuff, but these were Jill's favorites today, kind of
Yeah.
what she uses to design and create her clothes, which are just
Oh,
stunning.
and this size also has a tote bag.
It does. This one
I don't know if
also,
she's got one, but I've got the large tote bag, and it fits the large tote with the cutting mat and also the glass mat if you want to put in there. I put all 3 sizes of mine into this tote bag
here it is.
along with my folding cutting mat. So this is the tote bag for the large size.
It's huge. It's so much space. There's so
It's
much
really
space in
big.
here. Yeah. It's
They
amazing.
didn't even have to do the green because it's so big that you
Yeah.
couldn't
You
get
can
lost
find
in
stuff
it.
in there. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is great.
This is so great.
And then you can put your projects and everything else in there with it. But like I said, when
Mm.
I'm traveling and I'm just working on my stuff, then I can take that little tote bag with the
Right.
mini, which
Yes.
is just perfect.
Yes.
So anyway,
Amazing stuff.
this has a place for your cords and things too. So,
Yeah, yeah, it's built the same way as the other one with the extra pockets and the shoulder strap and
Yeah.
the extra straps and the reinforced corners and all that. They're all built very similar, or the two are built very similar. The mini one opens like a book.
Opens
That
like
one's
a book.
fantastic.
Yeah.
But go to jilllilystudio.com, find all the CutterPillar products. She is offering you guys for 2024 Christmas season. We want
Yes.
to keep reminding you this is 2024 that her special is going to go until Christmas.
Uh-huh.
So anytime through Christmas, you can buy these. If you are looking for a Christmas present, make sure you order by Sunday because we would want it to ship by Monday to make sure Monday the 16th. Yeah. So if you order by the 15th, Jill will get me the orders to ship to you guys, and those will ship on the 16th. So you want to make sure to order it for that and to get it in time for Christmas because
Right.
these are great Christmas presents for yourself.
Right. And if not, enjoy that discount all the way up until Christmas and just get it a little bit after
Yes.
so that you have time to spend with your family and eat all the good food and then
Eat
you
all
can
the good food and then you can get back to work. Well, and like if you're like me, I'm sure you're the same way at your house and you're the mom and you're the grandma and you're doing all for
Yeah.
everybody. When Christmas, you need something when you're done. You need something to
Yes.
kind of decompress from taking care of all of that stuff. So if you're not worried about getting it for Christmas, you have until Christmas to get her
to
discount.
get the discount.
And then you can start working on stuff after the holidays are done and you need that decompression time.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Beautiful. I
Well,
love it.
and follow CutterPillar because they have just amazing products and lots of good tips. And all the time you do a lot of lives, don't you?
We do.
On your
We do a lot of lives on our
social
channel.
channels,
Yes. And
yep.
talk about more about the products and you can find us out there. We're on the road, we're in stores, but Jill has everything there too. So anything
Right.
that you need from Jill, you can get that way too. And she's got a great special going on. So
Right. And
check
if
it
you
out.
don't see a specific product on my website, you can get to the website from my website and still get the discount, right? And shuffle around on your
So
website.
it depends. Sometimes not. But yes, if you go
I
from
think
Jill's,
I
yes,
thought-
if you go from Jill's website, she has a link, an affiliate link
Uh-huh.
that takes us there. So you'll get the 15% off.
Right.
Yes, if you go from Jill's website to ours, if she doesn't have
Right.
one there, that is correct. So you'll get that 15% off that way for sure. But right now, she's got an extra 10% going
Right.
on top of that 15% on her website at Jill Lily Studio. So make sure you go there
Yep.
right now before Christmas and get your stuff.
JillLilyStudio.com.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. We're so excited you were in our studio today. Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much. Thanks for
Delight.
joining us, everybody.
Bye-bye.